Hey, welcome back. And today I'm going to talk about staying out of local politics. In fact, stay out of politics in general. Don't sit there and think that your political beliefs are so important that you have to impose them on the people that you are teaching or the culture or the country you are staying. Some countries are extremely conservative, and it can get you in a lot of trouble. And some countries are ultimately liberal, where you should be quiet. So anyways, my point is this. You need not... Why would you go overseas and live? And the first thing you need to do is join the political party of your choice from the United States when you get there. And you have to go and say, oh, I need to hang around with these people of my political party. And then you try to make like a political organization while you're over there. Then you try to indoctrinate people. Then you start lying to people. I mean, it just baffles me. And what really baffles me, and I said it one time to someone, is like, why do foreigners all know who the United States president is, Secretary of State? But if you ask an American couldn't tell you who the president was of maybe 5 or 6 countries tops in the world. But every country you go to, almost everybody knows who the U.S. president is, and a lot of people chime in on what they think about the U.S. president. Now, whatever your political beliefs are, that's fine with me. I don't get involved with somebody else's politics, but this is my point I'm making. Don't go overseas and start spreading lies. If you're going to tell someone the truth and your honest opinion, but don't lie. Now, during the Vietnam War, there was a lot of protesters in the United States protesting the Vietnam War. When the war was over, Vietnam invaded Cambodia. Now, during the time, during the Vietnam War time, the Cambodians had a revolution, and it basically destroyed 1/3 of the population. And a lot of Cambodians moved overseas. Some are in the United States, some are in Australia, some went to England, some went to Canada, some went to New Zealand. So a lot of people were refugees, and they moved all over the world. Now, there are politicians that said they did not want the United States to get involved in Cambodian relationships or Cambodian political affairs. So I mentioned this, and this guy said, "Teacher, is this right?" And he wasn't talking to me, he was talking about someone else. And the guy came back and said, "No, this guy's lying." So he said I was lying. So I went and I showed him all these news articles that said I was telling the truth. Now, what do you think that guy who asked the other guy, am I telling the truth? When this guy said I was lying, and then I showed all the articles that said I was telling the truth. Basically, what he's saying is, at this point in time, is he's lying to make someone else look bad. Do not get into those politics. Stay clear of it. You are not going overseas into a country and change that culture. You are not going overseas and changing the world. You are going overseas to educate people. You might be able to educate people on picking up garbage. You might be able to educate people on CPR, first aid, or the Red Cross. You might be able to educate people on teaching English or teaching math or educating people. That's fine. Stay out of local politics. You do not have to tell the people that you're teaching here, this is who you should vote for. I know right now there's Filipinos that hate it when an American comes there and starts nosing in and butting in on their politics. But Americans, on the other hand, get very annoyed when people from other countries come to America and start telling people how to vote. I lost a lot of respect for Manny Pacquiao, or whatever his name is, the boxer, who came to America and started telling Filipinos how to vote. He's not an American citizen. He's not an American politician. He's not an American. He should not come here. He's a Filipino politician, a world-renowned boxer. He does not need to come to the United States and start telling people how to vote. I lost a lot of respect for him for that. Bono does it. If you are from another country, don't go to another country and start telling people how to vote. I personally stay out of politics of another country. And the reason why I stay out of politics, it's not my country. It's not me to tell them or someone from another country how to vote. They know what they want. They know their culture. They know what they want the future to be. Let them decide. Don't go in there and start saying this is what you need to do. This is what you need to act. This is how you should vote. This is the way it goes. This is what happens in my country. No, stay out of it. Do not get involved with other people's politics. There was a Spanish guy from Spain that was in Cambodia. Now, I admire him for the fact that he tried to do a lot of cultural stuff. And he put a lot of stuff on YouTube exposing corruption and everything. Problem was, he was showing his face. And he got very beloved by the youth of the country. And finally he got deported out of the country. He was forced to leave. And when he left, I'm almost crying because there was thousands of school children, high school, college students waving at him. It was like a parade at him all the way to the airport. But I have a lot of disrespect for him for another issue, and I won't talk about that issue because I told someone that and they were shocked. They didn't know why. They didn't know why I had the disrespect till I told him. And basically he got fired from his job for something that was very unprofessional. And I'm surprised he didn't go to jail for it or get kicked out of the country. Or I think because of his YouTube channel, when he got fired, he was already getting a big fan base, and no one knew this. No one knew why he got fired, but he spent more time traveling and doing everything. So basically stay out of local politics. It can get you killed. It can get you deported. You do not need to go overseas and start preaching about your country, your politics, and what your beliefs are. That is not what you need to do. What you need to do is, if you want to change people's perception of being pollution, you can help do that. A lot of times people do not care. I'm just going to say this. People in some countries do not care about throwing their garbage on the ground. There's no incentive for them to pick up that garbage and throw it in a garbage can. If you want that to stop, you got to do what the United States did. Fines. You got to go and have garbage cans everywhere. You got to have somebody that's willing to pick up garbage. And I know, like in the Philippines, there was an older guy that came by and picked up garbage. And I think he went through the garbage and he collected all the recyclables, removed everything, all the recyclables. And he sold, he made some money. Then people paid him to pick up garbage. But the local authority said this guy had to stop and you had to pay them to pick up the garbage because they work for the province government. So this guy got forced out of a job. They decided to come over. And guess what? They would come over, collect their money, and never pick up the garbage. So you got to learn. There are people out there that are not going to do their job. They're going to force you to do something. I know there was a man in Cambodia that was part of a union, and he wound up getting shot, killed on the street because he was going to force people to pay more money. He was local, and honestly, someone needs to do a story on this, an expose on this. The crime's never going to be solved, but if the world knows what happened, maybe things will change. So that's going to do it for me right here. This was a little longer. Okay, thank you everybody. Bye-bye.